Hello, I'm dombower, and today we're going to be reviewing the Tokina super wide angle lens, which is an 11 to 16mm f2.8. Now, Tokina, some of you may not have heard Tokina. There's main manufacturers are Nikon, Canon, then Sigma, Tamron, and Tokina. The Tokina, there's not a huge range of lenses, but the ones that they have are built brilliantly. That's the main thing about them. The Tamrons use quite a lot of plastics, quite cheap plastics, but it makes them nice and light. Sigma also uses quite a bit of plastic, but they're a little bit better built. But the quality control with Sigma seemingly hasn't been all that great. And Tokina, this one, you can really feel it. It feels weighty. It's nice and heavy, and it's made out of pretty solid metal materials. Obviously the focusing and the zooming mechanisms, they've got lovely rubbery plastic for them, but otherwise it feels solid, and it feels like if you dropped it, it wouldn't do any damage, apart from to your foot or to the floor. Now, being an f2.8, now the thing is with lots of wide angle zooms, in fact this isn't wide angle, this is super wide angle, being an 11mm and it's built for DX, so a digital camera size, so that's usually a crop of 1.5 compared to a full frame sensor. And being 11mm, that means you're getting almost a full 180 degrees view from the shot. Now, the other thing about this is that it's an f2.8. With the Sigma 10 to 20, or the Tokina 12 to 24, the Nikon 12 to 24 as well, they are not f2.8s. They're usually an f4, especially with the Sigma. The Sigma goes from f4 to f5.6, which isn't that bright. An f2.8 means that the bit inside the lens opens up really wide, so lots of light's able to get in. If you have a Nikon D60, D80, D90 or D300 or above, you have an auto ISO mechanism. So for example, if you're wanting to shoot interiors, like let's say we're going to do this room here, if I were going to do it just now, and I put it onto an auto ISO, so that it has to do a 30th of a second. So with very wide angle, 30th of a second will be fine, everything will be nice and sharp, as long as you're not sneezing whenever you take the photo. The being an f2.8, when you take the photo in this light, in fact I'll take that just now, put it to f2.8, and it's on ISO automatic. There, the auto ISO has given me a 220 ISO. Now, if I were to put it at the f stop of the Sigma, which is f4 at its widest angle, let's see, that's given me an ISO 450. And whenever the Sigma is zoomed in, it's an f5.6. So if I take that photo again, so that's given me an ISO of 900. So a comparison of 250 to 900, that's a lot of ISO difference. And if you're really worried about the grain or the noise levels in an image, then having an f2.8 really makes a big difference if you're using auto ISO. The other thing about the Tokina is that unlike the Sigma, which has HSM, hypersonic motor, which means it goes really fast, going from zoom in to zoom out, or the Nikon, some Nikons have a thing like that, SMV, silent wave motor, which again is kind of like, means it's faster, makes less noise. This one's quite a noisy lens, so listen. So you may have heard that, but at the same time, for its zoom range, which is from let's see, 30 centimeters, so that's pretty close, up to infinity. It uses the camera's body's motor. So if you have the Nikon D60 or 50, where it doesn't have its own motor, and you have to use HSM lenses or hypersonic motors or the silent wave motors from Nikon, then this won't work on your camera, or you will have to use it in auto, in manual focus, which is by changing that, and then you can manually focus. But if you notice, I'll try and bring it up nice and close so you can see the speed of it actually focusing. That's it going from infinity down to the closest and then back up again. So that's really quick. I've certainly not had any problems with the speed of its focus. The other thing about this lens is that it's super sharp. The Sigma 10-20 was a great lens. I loved it. I had it for a good long while, and its 10mm was a wee bit wider than this one, but once you got to the edges of the image, they started really having a curve in them, and they really weren't very sharp. So if you looked at a sharpness test of the lens, in the centre it'd be nice and high, at the outsides it'd be a wee bit lower, and then at the very edges it'd be rubbish. It wouldn't be that great. But with this one, it's really sharp all the way through, all the way from edge to edge, and all the way through the zoom, and even at f2.8, which for normal lenses they would be a wee bit blurry, a wee bit crap. This is just super sharp. It's brilliant. I take loads of shots at f2.8 and I've had no problem with the sharpness. In fact, I think it's the sharpest lens of all I've got, especially at 2.8. Anything else about it? Yes, so it's got its automatic, so the actual bit which you would use doesn't move, but the focusing does. But if you want to use it so that you're in control, the manual, then you've got it here. It's very smooth, very light, and it stops once you get to the limit at both ends. The zoom itself, which isn't really very much at all, it's only 11 to 16, which on this picture here you're seeing it's probably from, if that's 11, 16 is maybe that. So it's not very much of a difference. It's not really, you don't buy it for its zoom abilities. But it's still sharp throughout the whole image, which is great. And the other thing is it doesn't change its size. So look, if we change it, there's no change in image. Ever so slightly, you'll see this slightly move, and that's it. So what that means is that it's really better weather sealed almost, because if it's raining and you've got a big zoom where lots of bits are coming out, the water can get in that, it gets sucked in, it gets lots of moisture in it. This one will be fine for shooting outside in slightly crap weather, and I've done that loads of times. The only thing is it doesn't have what some people call an O-ring, which is a bit that usually goes around here, and it kind of seals it a wee bit better to the camera, so the less moisture can get in just in the little bit here. Otherwise, this is a brilliant lens. When I bought this lens, it was around about £480. I think it's gone up now with the exchange rate, so it's around about the £500 region, which is a bit more than the Sigma or a Nikon 12-24. But I would say this is an absolutely awesome lens. Its sharpness is brilliant, its distortion is minimal, its build quality is brilliant, its focusing speed is fine, its accuracy is spot on, and its with 11 to 16 is absolutely perfect. I would highly recommend it for everyone, and it's a great step up from the Sigma 10 to 20mm, and being an f2.8 is just super great for indoors, weddings, or concerts, stuff like that. That's all. Thanks a lot. Speak to you later. Bye. Or see you later. Bye.